Today we begin our course. The course, which will focus on key knowledge, which is generally not accepted to speak. This is the knowledge on which the future depends not only on our personal, not only on our families, but also on the entire civilization as a whole. The lack of this knowledge has determined the fate of our civilization over the past 20,000 years. There is a feeling that there is some kind of force that works against and misunderstanding of the nature of this force, and all that is behind it and is what will ultimately determine the fate of our civilization. Therefore, I welcome all those who have joined our course. Let's start with the history of the solar system. Despite the fact that our cosmos is infinite, it is a living structure that is about 14 billion years old. In order to understand how everything works, let's look at how the human body works, and the knowledge that we have today is quite enough to well imagine the mechanism of energy information exchange in the universe. So, we have a physical body. The universe also has a physical body, it is obvious. And now I'm showing you a small fragment of space. Here we see galaxies scattered in this endless space, the amount of which is not comparable. It is almost impossible to imagine existing terms and the level of performance that we are in fact operating. And each galaxy is something like the acupuncture points on the body of the universe. And these acupuncture points play a different role, as well as acupuncture points on the human body, that are responsible for the activity of one organ or another, one or another system of the body. These galaxies have different shapes, spiral, like our galaxy, the Milky Way. There are just some clumps of formation. Then, the spiral shape of the galaxy is in a certain way related to the level of development of the galaxy, and the more spirals, and their number will tend to the number of energy bodies in a person. Therefore, keeping this in mind, we are taking the next step to the level of solar systems. The same structure. There is a physical body, there are planets, orbits in which the planets rotate around the sun. And this system is similarly subject to the principle of anthropopodicity, where orbits and rotating planets, their impact on the human body, are connected with the human energy system. We have 12 energy shells, and the solar system should have 12 planets. If it is not destroyed, it is at the normal level of its development. And each planet, each orbit, is a system that has a certain effect on the human body. All of this is inscribed in the galaxy. All of this is inscribed in space. This is a single system. And now there are planets inside the solar system that are in the so-called life belt. And here in this belt of life is the Earth, which is connected in a certain way with the human body. And it is not by chance that I show you this image, where in the background we see the universe, in front of us we see the human body, and acupuncture points. And in the same way, according to the principle of anthropomorphism, there are peculiar energy channels between these star systems. Between galaxies, the so-called crown transitions. These are the very channels of time through which they move from one remote part of space to another part, under space, for example. And moving through such channels to the most remote part of space, or under the space of the universe, does not take more than a minute. And this factor played an important role in the fate of the solar system. The thing is that our solar system is really located in a special acupuncture point of our galaxy, through which, with the developed civilization of the galaxy and the universe, it makes its transitions, appearing here. This, on the one hand, is a colossal plus, on the other hand, it is certainly a colossal minus. Without understanding which it is impossible to understand at all how everything in our solar system happened. These highly developed civilizations are at different levels of development, respectively. They have different goals, tasks, and different ways of implementing these tasks. When they come to our solar system, making the transition through the channel of time, they find themselves on Earth. And for the entire history of the solar system, quite a large number of different civilizations have already visited here, which have different, in a certain sense, genetics, different interests. Our solar system, in addition to all the advantages that I have described, has one colossal minus. Once every 33 million years, the solar system passes through the so-called asteroid stream. 66 million years ago, the fall of a large 10-kilometer diameter asteroids in the area of the village of Chicxulub led to the fact that all the dinosaurs turned out. And there have been many such falls, and they have always been the cause of the death of those forms of life on Earth that were able to carry the rudiments of reason. This was one of the reasons why some expeditions got stuck here on Earth, and, assimilating with the local population, they became the reason for the appearance of such a fairly wide racial diversity. On the one hand, it provides unique opportunities for the development of civilization, using genetic developments, genetic materials of different civilizations, but you always need to remember that the level of development was different. The level of understanding of morality and ethics about the world of development of any civilization goes through certain stages. And there are disadvantages. When you guess, there are its advantages. And this whole, I'm not afraid of this word, party, it determined the specifics of the development of our civilization.